Hi guys, how are you? So today I'm going to be talking about the first signs if you are pregnant. The first signs I experienced. It's different for everyone, of course, but these were kind of the things that stuck out to me that I was like, oh shoot girl, you might be pregnant. As you guys know, if you have seen my previous videos, when I first thought I was pregnant, when I first missed my period, it was a kind of different circumstance because I had forgotten to take my birth control. Don't do that if you don't want to have a baby. So I had forgot to put a new ring in, and I was like, you know what, my hormones might just be balancing out. That could explain why I'm late, because if you're on the new ring, 3 weeks you're on it, 1 week you take it out, you get your period. So when I took it out, I didn't put a new one in, so that entire month I was expecting my period and then it never came. I did have spotting maybe about a week after I conceived, because now looking back I'm like, oh okay, this is when you conceived. So I do remember spotting. I remember wiping and seeing some blood and being like, that's weird, and then not really thinking anything of it. So besides the obvious, I want to talk to you guys about what signs you should look out for if you're worried you're pregnant, if you missed your period. So anyways, I missed my period. I took a pregnancy test, as a lot of you guys do, and it said negative. So I was like, okay, bet. Not pregnant, we're good, let's go, have fun. Yeah, no, not so fast. So I thought I was in the clear, you know, it said negative. Isn't that the sign everyone's kind of hoping for, unless you're trying to conceive? If you're not trying to conceive, you're hoping that it says negative. And every second that goes by, you're like, oh crap, is that little cross gonna come? Well, it didn't for me, so I was like, you know what, we're good. So I continued living my life, doing my thing, going to school, going to work, and I started to notice some things that started to concern me and made me question if I was pregnant. Okay, the first one is you are constantly, I want to say, hangry. You get hungry probably more than not, like every couple hours you're getting hungry. You want to snack, you want to eat. You could have had, you know, 5 pieces of pizza and then 2 hours later you're like, okay, let's go eat again. So that was definitely one of them. I was always hungry, and if I wasn't hungry, I started to feel nauseous. Like if I don't eat, I started to get a little nauseated, where I was just like, okay, I need to eat something. That was number one. Number two was extreme fatigue. I'm talking, you keep snoozing your alarm, you don't want to get up for school, you don't want to get up for work, you're just like, sleep. I was late probably so many times to school because I just, like, I physically, mentally could not get out of bed. Like I was drained, you guys, like just completely drained. So that was one thing. Like I was always tired all the time. I was drinking tons of energy drinks, which is not good if you are pregnant. Do not drink energy drinks, but I didn't think I was pregnant, so you know, I was drinking energy drinks, coffee, Starbucks, Dunkin', let's go. I was in beauty school at the time, so we were always drinking coffee, but it just wasn't enough. I was still tired, still fatigued, just no energy, not even wanting to like just extreme laziness. Like you don't want to do something, you don't want to get up, you don't want to, even throughout your day, you just don't want to do stuff. Try to find the easiest way out, you're just not about it. Okay, I did notice I started craving weird stuff. Like when I was on break in beauty school, I wanted a hot dog with onions on it. I would go to the gas station, get a hot dogs with onions and ketchup, and I would eat 2 of them like no one's business. I started craving pickles, like sour stuff, salt and vinegar chips, dill pickles. The big ones from the gas station were my kryptonite. I love those things. I would literally eat them like in the break room, and one day I ate like 2 of them and I threw up pickles. Worst experience ever. I do not recommend eating 2 big gas station pickles because you will throw it up if you are pregnant. So I was craving stuff like that. I always had to have chips on me, candy, sour Skittles, blue sour straws. Like I already love all those things, but being pregnant just amplified them 10 times over, and I crave them all day, every day. The other thing I started to notice was my boobs were sore to the touch. Now I have little boobs, okay? I know girls with bigger breasts, they complain that their boobs hurt when it comes around their time of their period. No, not me. My boobs don't hurt when it's coming time to my period, but I did notice I couldn't even touch them. I couldn't even put a bra on, nothing without them hurting. Like I was putting on a bra like ow, 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 clasping it like crap, that hurt. Like you didn't want anything to touch it, seatbelt, nothing. So that was a big one, is my boobs hurting, which was completely out of the ordinary. And at that point I was like, okay, yeah girl, you're pregnant, okay. Sorry, my cat's messing with my lighting, so I need to hold her, I guess. Oh, the other thing, smells, like certain smells just make you mad, like just piss you off, make you want to throw up. There was this one girl in my beauty school, she would bring like those ruffles, like the queso ones. Okay, they smelled like feet. Like they smelled legit like someone with stinky feet just opened it up in the classroom. And anytime she would open it in the classroom, like because we could snack in there, I just remember looking at her and being so pissed off. She would eat these things like every day, and I'm pregnant and I'm nauseous, and the smell of these stinky feet chips like would literally piss me off, like 0 to 100. Like I could feel my body getting hot, and I was just getting so worked up over some girl eating chips. Like it was pissing me off. And I'd be like, do you have to eat those in here? Like they smell so disgusting, like they are so gross. And she's like, they don't even smell that bad, like they're so good. And I'm just like I'm really about to throw up. Like when you start feeling like that, you're pregnant. If little things start pissing you off, like someone eating chips and the smell of them, most likely you're pregnant. I remember walking when I worked in the sushi bar, and I would walk out and they would be like making the crab mix and stuff. I would get pissed. Like I would walk by and I would just immediately get so mad, like, oh my god, that smells so gross. Like it was the type of smell you couldn't get away from. Like if you feel like smells are following you, and like just the split second of you smelling something, you're just like, oh my god, like I cannot smell that, then most likely you're pregnant, girl. If your pregnancy test says negative and you're like, okay, I'm good, how about you go eat some sashimi or some raw fish? If you like sushi, go eat some sushi, girl. And if you throw up the sushi, you're pregnant. Because I was working at a sushi bar, I love sushi, I eat it every single day, or I ate it every single day. And yeah, when I started to feeling sick while I was eating a barashirashi bowl or eating sashimi with avocado, once I started feeling nauseous in the middle of eating it, first I told the sushi guy that the fish was bad because I would literally go to the bathroom and throw it all up. At work, one time I got sent home from work for throwing up in the toilet because like the manager walked in and I was like projectile vomiting. Like, you know you're pregnant if it's like your worst hangover. Like just imagine the worst hangover. You know the type of hangovers where you try to drink something, you try to eat something, and you just immediately start projectile vomiting, throwing up, like you need to run to the bathroom. Once you do that and you haven't been drinking and you're not hungover, then you're pregnant, girl, okay? I think it's so funny. I always get you guys' questions asking me, how do I know if I think I might be pregnant, how do I know? I'm telling you right now, girl, if you have any of these symptoms, you can be like me, be in denial, push it aside and be like, yeah, no, I'm not pregnant, whatever. But the symptoms, girl, will come for you. They will come for you, and there will be no denying it, even though I tried to deny it even with that. Acid reflux and heartburn. If you're eating your favorite thing or whatever and 30 minutes go by and you start to, you know, feel that burning in the back of your throat, like kind of like baby throw up, that's what I noticed with pregnancy. Is I got the worst acid reflux. I would just feel like I was gonna throw up. Towards the end, I had to carry like Tums, like by the handful in my purse at all times, because if I didn't have Tums, my acid reflux would be so bad. Like my heartburn, people call it acid reflux, like the baby throw up that burns your throat. Yeah, not fun. If you're getting that, most likely you're pregnant. Yeah, I mentioned again, getting mad over little things or getting like really upset over little things. This only happened to me, thank God, in the beginning of pregnancy, but towards the end I mellowed out. I was told I was the coolest pregnant girl that my teachers have ever met when I moved to Houston. But in the beginning, girl, like little things would just piss me off. Like I would just be so mad over little things. The other thing, this is more mental than like physical. increased paranoia, like feeling like someone's gonna break into your house, feeling like someone's watching you. I don't know, I got this really bad in the beginning and all throughout, and a lot of people were like, girl, you're crazy, like you're pregnant, you're just being crazy. But I really thought, like, if I was at school, I would think someone's gonna break into my house, like telling my parents, you need to set the alarms, you guys need to make sure you lock the doors, like someone's gonna break in. Like I was so convinced that like something bad was gonna happen, and it never did. But I was just constantly paranoid. And no matter what, this is the last and probably the final one. If you are completely exhausted and you're so tired, like I could nap throughout the whole day, but at night, if I try to go to sleep, I realize this a lot with pregnancy, you get insomnia so bad. I had the worst insomnia throughout my whole pregnancy. I could not fall asleep. I could not do anything. And if you are so exhausted but you can't fall asleep, then you are probably, and okay, don't take one of these things being like, oh yeah, I can't sleep, well maybe I might be pregnant. No, if you have like all of these symptoms, not just like one or two, if you have all of these symptoms, girl, you're pregnant. If you just, you know, have a short temper and get mad about stuff and certain smells make you nauseous, you probably aren't pregnant. But if all of these symptoms arrive within a month of you missing your period, then most likely you're pregnant. These are just the ones I experienced. These are just the ones that really stuck out to me, that I was just brushing aside, you know, brushing aside. And finally, when I was like, okay, I'm pregnant, I need to go get a test and confirm it, I was at work and I was eating and I felt nauseous all day, like super nauseous, super tired. Oh, I almost forgot. You're also going to feel really bloated. Like I'm talking, you just drank a 12-pack of beers bloated, like all the time, no matter in the morning or at night. Like you feel like your stomach's sticking out. It almost hurts a little bit. Like you feel bloated, like you just feel sluggish, you feel super fat, you just feel bloated. It's like your stomach is like pushing out and you're just like, what is going on? Like that's how it feels, just bloating up the wall, like bloating. And I also feel like I started to pee like a lot, even in the beginning. Like you just have to pee all the time, and sometimes you can't, like, okay, this might be TMI, but this is just what happened to me, because I thought I had a UTI, and I don't want you guys to think all these things and go to the doctor like I did and be in denial. I thought I had a UTI because I would sit down and I would really have to pee, and like it would just be like a little trickle, like doo doo doo, and I'd be like, but I've been having to pee this whole time. So, you know, I would wipe, I would get up, and then like a minute goes by and then I have to pee. I'm like, oh my gosh, I must have a UTI. Like this is ridiculous. No, you're pregnant. That's what happens, and it gets worse the bigger you get. But just little things like that, if they're sticking out to you, then chances are you're pregnant, girl, and congratulations. If you're watching this video, if you're searching for like top 10 signs I might be pregnant, then you probably are either concerned or you most likely are pregnant. Because if you even have a doubt, like we're very aware of our bodies, we're very, you know, we're just very smart beings. We know when something's up. We know when something's out of ordinary with our body, especially if you're very self-aware. So if you're starting to have these questions or have these doubts, now keep in mind, pregnancy scares are a completely different thing. Sometimes your mind can be like, girl, you're pregnant, when in reality you're not, and you're just psyching yourself out. So the best advice I could give you if you are having these is take a test like I did. I took a test when I missed my period, and then a couple weeks went by, and when I was at work, this was the story I was going to tell you earlier, sorry guys, I just get ahead of myself. But when I was at work and I was feeling nauseous all day and sluggish, and even after I ate I still felt sick, then I went and got a test and it said positive, and yeah, the rest is history. My life has changed. My son is sleeping right now. I love him to death. He is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So if you are worried about being pregnant, I do have a whole series. If you're worrying about what options you have, the sooner the better it is to find out, you know, if you're having a baby or not, just so you can have all your options and you can really sit back and have time to think, because it'll probably be about 20 weeks before you even start to show. So don't freak out. You have time to figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to tell your parents, how you're going to tell the dad. But if you guys have any of these symptoms, then congratulations. Don't psych yourself out. I don't want you guys watching this video and being like, oh no, I might be pregnant, I need to go buy a test. Don't. You know your body, you know it better than anyone else. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave down below if you had any weird cravings when you were pregnant, and I will see you guys in my next video.